Hi, welcome to our campsite. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Frank, and this is Living on Slow Time.
Today we're going to take you on a full tour of our 2022 Grand Design Solitude 280RK-R.
We went to the Ocala RV show in 2022. We weren't really looking for another camper. However, once we saw this floor plan, we fell in love with it.
Absolutely. So let's go inside and take a look. All right. We're going to start out with just going through the living room a little bit here. We'll finish the living room on the back side as we make our way around. We've got the theater seats. It is a true couples coach. It only has the theater seating. There is no additional couch or anything here. We make it do whenever we do have company because we've got office chairs over here. I do work remotely, so we took out the dining room set and we went to IKEA and we picked up a desk that had some drawers in it for some storage, as well as a couple of office chairs. Now these office chairs do also make for great visitors seating whenever we have company that comes over. We'll just pull them out into the living room and everybody can sit together. That way nobody's having to sit on a camp chair or in a hard plastic chair from Lifetime. And so now we're going to come around. We're going to start the kitchen. This is my favorite part of the entire camper, is this kitchen. It is the heart and soul of this place, and I love to cook. So this is the pantry right here. You see it's got nice amount of storage in here. The shelving has a lip on it. Stuff doesn't fall off during travel day. This one here does not, for some reason, have a lip to it, so we do have a little tension bar there. You've got drawers down here at the bottom for storage. You've got two smaller drawers, and then you've got one larger drawer that'll hold the taller items in there. Now, one thing we did do, in which we'll do some modification video of some sort, but one thing we did do for travel days is we did purchase some locks. They're just little door locks, like what you put on your screen door or something at home. And that's just to make sure that that door does not come open whenever you're traveling down the road, because these slides come in and you will not be able to see this pantry door or the cabinet where the trash can used to be. Notice I said used to be. We learned the hard way about things coming open down the road. The trash can used to be in here. It was a pull-out drawer, but I heard the inevitable crunch that makes you cringe when you're setting up, and the door had gotten ripped partway off. We were able to fix it for a little bit, and it happened again. We put one of the locks on there, but the drawer just did not close properly. So we put some hinges on and made it into a cabinet that we now just store like our drinks and garbage bags in. So that makes that functional. We would like to put an extra shelf in there at some point in time. Coming over here to the rear of the rig, you have nice large upper cabinets here that, as you can tell, holds a tremendous amount of stuff. And underneath the sink here, you have a nice large area there as well. Next to the sink, we've got the drawers. So you've got places for your silverware, some smaller utensils. And then in the bottom, you've got a nice big deep drawer that I keep my bigger extra utensils in. As I said, I cook a lot, so I have a lot of utensils. As we come around over here onto the kitchen slide part, we've got cabinets up here for your spices. There's a cabinet up top. I just keep a few plastic items up there that I don't use a whole lot because I'm standing on my tippy toes. You've got the full-size microwave, of which the decorative piece broke up here, but we haven't replaced that yet. Not even sure if we can get it replaced. When our door latch broke after travel day one day, we called and there was no replacement parts for it, so we kind of rigged it up ourselves with a spring from Home Depot. Down here you've got another cabinet to the left side of the stove, which holds all of the pots and pans and baking pans and skillets down there. And then you've got the residential stove. This was a game changer. In our Reflection 337, it had one of the little three burner, still had the nice grates on it, but it was a 3-burner stove in our Reflection. And the oven was very tiny, but check out this oven. This will hold a full-size turkey and anything that you want to bake in there. This is a half-size sheet pan right there, just to kind of give you an idea how large that is. Underneath, you do have an extra drawer down here. It's where I keep all of my cast iron at because it's so heavy. And then we've got the residential refrigerator. This was a must for Frank. He wanted the residential refrigerator, and it has plenty of room in there. Now it does come with an ice maker in it. Here in the freezer, we chose not to hook the ice maker up just because, in my opinion, it's one more place to get a leak. So we didn't do that, so Frank just has his ice trays down there. And then the love of my life. This is the kitchen island here. It's got power that pops right up here. It is dishwasher prepped, so if you were interested in a dishwasher getting put in, the lines are all down here in this cabinet. I've got Frank, so I don't need a dishwasher.
Yeah, that's my job. She cooks and I wash the dishes.
Yes. So underneath here, there's more storage. We've got the nice large open cabinet here. This is where I keep all of my baking stuff, so it's all right there so that it's easy to grab. In the drawer down below, a lot of people would use this for their pots or something. I chose to put my Corelle all down here just because it's a breakable, and if Corelle breaks, it breaks and shatters into a million pieces. But it is hard to break them. But they're heavy, so I wanted them down low in the rig somewhere. So that has worked out perfectly. And when these slides come in, this island comes right up to the refrigerator, so that doesn't open all the way up or anything. So up here above the refrigerator, you've got more storage up here. I've got my mama's Corningware that I had to bring with me, and just some Pyrex up there. All right. Coming on back around to the rest of the living room. Living room part 2. So this is the living room area. You've got lots of nice storage up top. Up here. And then you'll see that there's a nice window and a nice little bar area here. But you can raise the TV up. It is on a televator. It's a 50-inch TV is what it came standard with. All right, so we've got the TV that's up here. We did put this in ourselves. This is a Bose soundbar. We picked that up at Sam's just because the sound from the speakers, with it being so close inside of this slide here, the sound just was not really great from the TV, and that has been a game changer. Down below, you've got your fireplace. It does put out heat, so it's actually very nice to have in the cooler mornings. Helps save on propane because we use that frequently. Over here on this side, this typically, most fifth wheels, this is the kitchen area. And so this is the hutch that would be in those kitchens. Well, in here, we still kept all the nice storage up top with lots of shelving. Store so much stuff up there. We do have our Prepared Hero fire blanket right here, so it's a quick grab if there should be any kind of a fire or something. Those are very nice to have. My brother-in-law knows that for a fact. But the best thing, down here is cabinet storage that comes with shelving in it. But we full-time in our camper, so we don't care to go to laundry rooms, but we have. This is where the washer and dryer sits. So it's fantastic because you're not having to kneel down and wrestle inside the front cap in your closet in there trying to maneuver your clothes around. It is more like being in a home, so that it's right here on the main level and you can just switch your clothes back and forth. And when you're not using it, you just close it right up and you never even know that they're there. All right, let's go upstairs. Well, we'll stop short of going upstairs. This is the cabinet storage as you're coming in. So down here, this could be a coat closet because there is a hanger in here, but it's kind of short for that. So we just store our laundry detergents in here and empty egg cartons because they make great ways to start fires. So I've got that in there. Up top, we have all of our control panels. This is the control panel for the rig. This is our solar panel, our LCI 1 control.
Yeah, lipper control, 1 control.
And then that has to do with our surge protector here. Up top, you do get a bonus shelf up there, and that's just where I keep like beach towels and tablecloth and my garden flags, because that way they're handy because they get swapped out so frequently. Now, come on upstairs. We're going to go into the bathroom next. And this was another one of my favorite reasons for this rig, is it is the most spacious bathroom. It has plenty of twirling room in here. You've got, of course, your foot flush toilet, and it's porcelain. And according to Matt on Matt's RV reviews, it is a prime pooping position. Behind that, you do have a couple of cabinets here for storing all of your toiletries and your towels and everything up there. You do have a full-size shower, pretty much a residential. That was one of Frank's big things, is he didn't want a pod shower. He wanted to have a full-size shower. It does have the big shower head system in here. We typically use just the wand on that because the water pressure in campgrounds are just not the greatest. And so it kind of just sprinkles out on you if you try to use the big shower head up there. It does have the three glass doors here, and it also has a seat. So ladies, if you're shaving your legs, or men washing their feet, or if you need to take a rest because you just still want to stay away from the kids for a little bit longer, you can have a seat.
Stay away from the kids, or maybe your husband.
All right. And so now we're going to come around and we're going to
watch that door.
All right, now we're going to take a look over here at the sink area. It has a huge medicine cabinet. So you've got a his and a hers and a ours up there for storage. Underneath the sink, you have a large area to take care of any cleaners, your toilet papers, and your happy camper or whatever you use on your black tanks. And then you've got a nice large deep drawer here as well.
Well, that large deep drawer is for Kathy. Yeah. She's got extra beauty supplies, so she gets extra drawers.
Try to do something. All right, so now we're going to go into the bedroom. Hi. All right, so it does have 2 doors coming into the bedroom area, which works out fantastic for the north-south bed layout, which means that your bed actually sets up into the nose cap. And that's because you actually get plenty of space to walk on the sides of the bed. So Frank just comes in through here, can get right on his side of the bed, and same for me. Now these closets are actually in the same slide as what the sink here in the bathroom is. So it makes that all push out for you. But you have 2 nice sized closets with a nice hang rail up there on both sides. We both get equal space there, as well as you've got the 2 drawers down here at the bottom that houses all of Frank's t-shirts. He's got a little problem with having t-shirts. And same over here. Now we do have a queen size bed. We swapped out the mattress that came with it for just a residential queen size. So that way sheets fit them properly and everything like that. My sister-in-law made me this beautiful quilt. Is it not the most gorgeous thing? The colors are just spectacular. Anyway, that was a squirrel side note there. Over here on the side of the bed, this was the thing that with a queen size bed in an RV, you get nightstands. You get storage down up underneath the nightstand there. You get storage up above. Same thing over on my side over there. We've got the storage up above and the storage below. So this place does not lack storage whatsoever. All right, Frank's going to assist me here with this part because that residential mattress is heavy. So it does have storage up underneath the bed as well. We did put a little crossbar across here underneath that lifts out so that we can access to our storage in those totes. Those hold our winter gear in there. But that support just kind of gives a little bit of extra support underneath the bed so that there's no sagging on the bed. We'll come back down the stairs here, and then we're going to take you outside and let Frank show you the storage that is all outside.
All right, now we're heading outside and we're going to do the outdoor tour. Let me close this door. Don't want any bugs or flies getting in. But first, if you notice, we have the MORryde step above steps. Love them. Wouldn't change them for anything. And then we'll move down to our first bay. Matter of fact, we talk about our house. We have a 2-story house with a basement and a garage, because this is the basement and the garage is up front. And as you saw earlier, we have steps going into our upper bedroom area. So we have a 2-story house with a basement and a garage. So open it here. Nothing special to see, but it is a pretty wide storage. I have a ladder in there. I use that. It's an extension ladder and an A-frame ladder, so it's kind of a dual purpose. I need to do some reorganizing here. I get rid of these empty totes, but somebody, not me, likes to keep extra totes around.
So you might have to take them along on your reorganization.
Yep, so let's go ahead and close this. Okay, moving right along. Right, this is where we keep our propane. We have 2 30-pound tanks, one on this side and one on the other side. And a good tip that I like to do is when I get my tanks filled, I like to put the date that I get the tank filled on. And if I know how many gallons it is, I'll put how many gallons it is. But that helps me keep track of which tank I'm using and how often I have to refill it. I don't leave my switch open to where it automatically switches to my second tank. I'd rather get up at dark 30 in the morning and switch my tank over than to find out when the second one's empty, I don't have any propane at all. What I like to do is just have one tank on at a time, and then when it's out, I switch it and I go ahead and replace it. So let's move around towards the front here. And like I said, we have a basement, and then this is the garage. And down here in the garage is where basically the heartbeat of the operation is. We do have solar on top because, like Kathy said in the tour, we have a residential refrigerator. So it came from the factory, came with one solar panel and a couple of lead acid batteries. Really wasn't a setup that we chose to use. So we decided to upgrade our solar. You'll see in a few minutes up on the roof, we have 3 panels and it's totaling 970 watts of solar. And over here we have the 3 SOK 206 amp hour batteries. They're in a nice case. They also have the heater on them. And back inside, you can see our Servo GX. And then we have our charge controllers. But I did want to point out that Tom at Great Outdoor Solar, we did upgrade all components to Victron. It did not come with the 30 amp charge controller from Victron. It was a Jaboni charge controller, which I hear is a good controller. However, it wasn't going to talk well with the Victron products. Now we're moving over to the other side of the basement. This is where you would find the other 30-pound propane tank. Moving over here, right here, we have our level up system. It's auto level. We do have a 6-point leveling system, which for a rig that's 34'1", 6-point leveling is fantastic. And while we're talking about the size of the rig, our UVW is 12,120 and our GVWR is 15,000. And overall it's 34'1" in the length. Moving over here, this is the other side of the basement. And then we have our wet bay. It is a Nautilus system. It came standard with an inline water filter. We have our black tank pool down here and our gray tank. This gray tank pool here is for the shower and sink. I have a separate gray tank handle that I'll show you in a minute that goes for the kitchen.
The washer goes into the main gray tank with your shower. So just something to keep in mind there.
And here we have our hot water heater.
12 gallons, is it?
Yeah,
is it 10?
I think
12?
You're right. Yeah, it's a 12-gallon water heater. And we did purchase these extra. Keeps the mud daubers and bugs like that from building nests in there.
Yeah.
And this is our furnace outtake here. So we have those wire mesh things on them. They're pretty cheap on Amazon. It doesn't cost that much, but they're actually well worth it, and they do a purpose. Then we have our 50 amp plug-in. This is our dryer vent. So every now and then I'll go up in there and clean it out just to make sure lint doesn't get there, and wasp or other things aren't building nests in there either. And right here is our first pool for our black tank and our gray tank that takes care of the shower and our washer. Under here, you can see our fresh tank pool, and it's right there. That's the fresh tank pool release right there. So we'll move along. As you can tell, we do have a Y system connection because I have a second gray tank back here. And this is the second gray tank for the kitchen. And the pool's located right up under here. There it is. All right. So that's basically the outside part of the rig. Let's take a climb up the ladder and see what the roof looks like. And matter of fact, it hasn't been cleaned in a little bit, so you and I together will see what it looks like. All right, I made it successfully up the ladder. I'm just showing you a quick view of the roof. Here's our solar panels. The two back here is what Great Outdoors in Winter Haven, Florida put on. And the other panel came from the factory. We have the two AC units. We do have the Winegard Air 360 on board, and we have two Max Air fans. Other than that, it's a pretty simple roof, or pretty normal roof.
Thank you for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed the tour of our 280RK-R. If you were to list two things that you like the most and two things that you dislike or would want to change about this rig, what would it be?
Well, let's go through the dislikes first. I like to get rid of the negatives before the positives and finish on a high note.
Yeah.
So I would say one thing that I would change would be our Solitude has a underbelly lights as well as the front cap lights, but the switch is outside, and there's only one switch. I think they could run an extra wire, put a switch inside, because you don't want to leave it on all day long, and then when you have to go outside at night just to turn on that switch, that's a little bit of a pain.
Well, and if they put two switches in, then you don't have to have the front cap lights on blinding everybody towards the street when you want just your underbelly lights on.
And I'd say the second dislike, or the second other thing that I would change, is the placement of the TV speakers. That Televator TV is nice. It's a good sized TV. It's a 50-inch TV. However, once you raise it up, the speakers are behind it and they sound crappy. Hence the reason we got the Bose soundbar. But other than that, those are the two things I would change on this camper. I would say, you want to go next, or you want me to go ahead and give you my likes?
Well, I can give you my dislikes.
Okay.
I would say, number one, in order to have the lights on in the pantry, you have to have all of the accent lights on. So it'd be really nice to have an automatic light in the pantry, so when you open that door up, that the pantry is illuminated. The other thing,
I think you were talking about the slide.
oh, like
You don't need a little protein snack?
no, don't think I haven't eaten anything yet today. So for the second thing, I would say that when it's great having opposing slides, but because when those slides come in, they butt up to both sides of the island and they stretch all the way up to that hutch, you cannot access the refrigerator. You can get to the important parts. You can get to the bed and you can get to the bathroom, but you just can't get to the refrigerator without doing a shimmy shake across the top of the hutch. Ask how I know.
She's been there and done that. We'll try to capture that next time it happens.
Yeah.
All right, so we both did our two dislikes. Let's do ladies first. What are the two likes about this camper?
Mine's easy. It's the kitchen with all the counter space in there and that wide open island that I get to use all the time, and the bathroom size. Just because it's so spacious, you don't feel cramped. It's like being in an apartment or a condo sized bathroom.
Yep. Okay.
All right. What about you?
I think my two likes. First like would have to be the placement of the washer and dryer in the hutch.
Hmm.
Don't have to
That is
fumble
nice.
through a closet upstairs in the closet of the fifth wheel cap, down on the main floor. And then when we're done with it, it has doors and closes. So no one even knows it's there until we tell them. And the second thing I like, I believe, is the bathroom with the two doors. I walk through many campers saying I would never have a north-south bed. But after having a north-south bed and having the two entry doors, I think that's definitely a bonus for me.
Okay. Very nice. Well, we hope you enjoyed the tour. We've thoroughly enjoyed living in our Grand Design Solitude 280RK-R for the last 3 years. And, you know, let me ask you a question. Do you name your campers? We've named ours. We've had 3 campers. Our first one was a Jayco SLX, little smart or small towable, and his name was Jay. But when we bought our Reflection, which is the one that we purchased when we sold our house and went full time, we named her Faith. And we did that because we took a leap of faith in selling the house and buying a camper to live full time. But when we bought our Solitude, we talked about as to what to name her and everything, and we decided on Hope. And the reason we decided on Hope for her name is we sure hoped we did the right thing.
Yes, we did.
We knew we were getting ready to hit the road full time at that point. Uh, so we really were hoping we were doing the right thing.
Yep. And so far, it's been working out very well. We've enjoyed every minute of it.
Absolutely. Thank you for stopping by our campsite today, and we'll see you next time.
Living on slow time.
Bye, y'all.